Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are unpacking a set of documents that proposes something. Well, frankly, it sounds a little radical at first glance. It's a strategy they're calling the physical pivot.
Right. And usually when you hear about escaping the rat race, it's one of two things, right? It's either go live off the grid or get rich, quick trading crypto.
Exactly. Total austerity where you're, growing your own potatoes or just high-risk gambling and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
But this source material is different. It's claiming you can build a localized, independent economy complete with factories in your own neighborhood
And this is the key.
without spending a single extra dollar than you currently do. It's a blueprint for what they call physical secession from the corporate racket.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when I first read that word secession, I thought, uh-oh, is this some kind of political manifesto?
It definitely sets off alarm bells, but it's
Yeah.
not political, not in the way you think. It's fascinating because it reads less like a manifesto and more like
Sure.
a systems engineering manual. The core argument is just that the average community is bleeding capital. We earn money, and then we immediately hand it over to these huge, efficient supply chains.
The corporate racket.
The corporate racket, as they call it. So the physical pivot isn't about voting or protesting. It's about putting a tourniquet on that financial bleed.
And redirecting the flow.
Exactly, redirecting it into local infrastructure.
And that's the hook that got me. It's not asking for new money. It's about redirecting existing money. So we're going to walk through the 4 stages they outline. It starts with a piece of software, moves to this really clever funding trick, then into food production, and it ends with, and I promise we will explain this, manufacturing underwear and toothpaste.
It's quite a journey, from
Right.
the digital to the very, very physical. From an app on your phone to a factory down the street.
So let's start at square one, phase 1. The documents call this the software navigator. Now, my immediate reaction was, great, another app.
Of course.
I have 50 apps on my phone I never open. But this isn't just a coupon clipper, is it?
No, and that's a crucial distinction. If you don't get that, the rest of the plan makes no sense. Most shopping apps, they want to maximize your spending or just harvest your data. They want you in the store more often.
Right.
This navigator is described as a logistics engine for the common person. Think of it like the software UPS or Amazon uses to save millions on fuel, but for your personal life.
The text mentions it hooks into real-time traffic data, even your personal calendar. It's trying to optimize your whole errand run.
Correct. The first asset being optimized isn't even money. It's time and fuel. The software analyzes the friction of your errands. It knows that if you go to the grocery store at 5:30 p.m. on a Tuesday,
You're doomed.
you're doomed. You're going to sit in traffic for 20 minutes and then stand in a checkout line for 15. That is a massive inefficiency.
I felt personally attacked by that part, I have to say. The documents use this phrase, surrendering life hours.
Yeah.
And that just hit hard. We don't think of waiting in line as surrendering life, but that's exactly what it is.
It is. From a systems perspective, it's just wasted resource. If you have 500 people in a neighborhood, and they each waste, say, 2 hours a week in preventable traffic or lines.
That's 1,000 human hours.
1,000 hours just
evaporate.
evaporated. The navigator routes you to shop when the system is fluid, when the store is empty, when the roads are clear. It batches your errands together.
So it's basically a traffic controller for my domestic life.
Exactly. It'll tell you, don't go now, wait until 7.15, take this specific route, and hit these 3 stores in this exact order. It's just squeezing efficiency out of a chaotic system.
So before we build anything physical, before a single brick is laid, we're just using data to stop the bleeding of time and gas.
Precisely. You can't build a new economy if you're hemorrhaging resources. Step 1 is pure efficiency. You reclaim those hours, you reclaim that fuel. But, and this is the pivot, you can't save time to the bank. You can't pay a contractor with, I didn't sit in traffic today.
Right. You need actual currency. Which brings us to phase 2. The funding mechanism. This is the part I think is the most ingenious. I had to read it twice. The 50-50 split.
This is the financial engine of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So imagine you have a whole community using this navigator. They're not just individuals anymore. They're a data block.
And the system uses that leverage for collective bulk purchasing.
Right.
Let's break that down. Because bulk buying, to me, sounds like going to a warehouse club and buying a 10-gallon jar of mayonnaise I don't actually need.
Chuckles.
Yeah.
The Costco trap.
Yeah. I end up spending more money just to save $1 on the unit price.
And that's the trap, buying more volume than you need, which
Yeah.
just leads to waste. This is different. The system buys the staples, rice, beans, flour at wholesale commercial rates. Because it's buying for, say, 1,000 families, it gets a massive price break.
Okay, let's run the math on this just to be crystal clear. Say I normally spend $200 on staples at the supermarket.
Okay.
The system gets that same basket of goods for, what, $100? Because it skipped the retail markup.
Exactly. So there's a $100 surplus. Now, a normal food co-op might just give that $100 back to you.
Or lower the price.
Or lower the price. But the physical pivot has a specific long-term goal. It takes that $100 savings and splits it.
The 50-50 split.
$50 goes right back into your pocket. You're immediately tangibly richer. You see it on your bank statement.
And the other 50?
The other $50 is diverted into a capital fund.
And this is the key distinction. It's not an investment fund, right? I'm not buying shares in some startup.
No. The source material is very, very specific about this. It's a building fund. You are essentially crowdfunding a factory, but you're not writing a check. You're funding it with the margin the supermarket used to keep as profit.
That's the aha moment for me. We're already paying for infrastructure every time we shop.
Yeah.
We're paying for the supermarket's lights, their rent, their corporate jets. This model just captures that money and uses it to build our infrastructure instead.
It turns consumption into capitalization. If you have a neighborhood of 500 families doing this, that capital pool grows incredibly fast. You don't need a bank loan. You don't need venture capital. You just need to buy your rice and beans through the system.
It's like forced savings, but in a good way?
And think about the psychology. If someone asked you to just donate $50 a month to build a community center, you'd probably say, I can't afford that.
Of course.
But if the system says, hey, here's $50 in cash savings you didn't have before, and by the way, we also put $50 into the building fund, you feel like you won twice.
That is a fascinating psychological hack. Okay, so fast forward. The fund hits critical mass. We break ground. We now have a physical building in the neighborhood, the local production facility. This takes us to phase 3. We aren't just buying stuff anymore.
Now we're moving from purchasing to processing. We're moving up the value chain.
The example the documents use is food, specifically bread and tortillas. Why start there? Is it just because everyone eats bread?
Partly, but it's mostly about shelf life and what the text calls the retail tax.
Okay.
Think about the supply chain. For a normal loaf of bread, it's baked in a massive factory, maybe 3 states away. It's loaded with preservatives to survive the truck ride.
Wrapped in plastic, shipped to a hub, then a store.
And you're paying for all of it. The gas, the driver, the plastic, the marketing. You're paying for the logistics, not the bread. The local production facility bypasses all of that. It uses that bulk purchasing power to bring in raw grain.
Which is dirt cheap and lasts for years if you store it right.
Correct. And then machines inside the facility, the one you help fund, process that grain into flour and bake fresh bread on site.
So the quality goes way up because it's fresh, no preservatives, but the cost plummets because there's no shipping.
It's an arbitrage on freshness and distance. But it doesn't stop at baking. The documents go into neighborhood-scale automation for meal prep.
This was the vegetable soup part. I love this because it attacks the labor of eating healthy. We all want to eat better, but chopping a mountain of veggies after work it's a nightmare.
It's friction. You have to wash, peel, chop. It takes time. Those life hours again. The facility installs commercial automation, machines that can wash and chop 50 pounds of carrots in a minute.
So instead of 500 neighbors all in their own kitchens chopping 1 carrot each at 6 p.m.
One machine does it for the whole block.
That's an order of magnitude efficiency gain.
It is. You just pick up a soup kit or prepped veggies on your way home. It's the convenience of a meal kit service, but without the subscription fee and all the wasteful packaging.
It redefines convenience. Usually convenience is something you pay a premium for. You pay extra for the pre-cut melon.
Right.
Here, convenience comes from shared machinery.
And shared ownership. You aren't paying a corporation to chop your carrots.
Yeah.
You're using a machine your consumption habits helped buy. It's a subtle shift, but it's huge.
Okay, so we're fed. We have cheap, fresh bread and prepped veggies. But phase 4 is where the documents take a hard left turn. I was expecting, I don't know, a community garden next.
Solar panels or something.
Yeah, but the text explicitly says manufacturing essentials, and it lists toothpaste and underwear.
Chuckles.
Yeah.
It is a little jarring, isn't it? Welcome to the revolution. Here's your toothpaste.
Right. Why seize the means of toothpaste production? It feels so mundane.
It's all about the margin.
Yeah.
The strategy is ruthless about math. What is toothpaste? It's a mild abrasive, a binder, some mint flavoring. The raw material cost is pennies.
But I pay $5 for a tube.
Why? The brand. the shiny box, the TV commercials you're paying for the corporate racket. The local production facility just creates a generic high-quality version with bulk ingredients.
So we're talking about vats of minty paste being dispensed into, like, reusable containers.
Essentially, yes. It eliminates the single-use tube, the cardboard box, the shipping. It's purely functional.
And the underwear, that feels more complex. I mean, sewing isn't as legal as mixing paste.
True, but it's highly automatable. The documents refer to basic textiles. We're not talking high fashion. We're talking functional necessities. T-shirts, socks, underwear.
Things you have to replace all the time.
Exactly. And things with supply chains that are, let's just say, incredibly long and often ethically opaque. By bringing in automated knitting and sewing machines, the facility turns bulk cotton into clothing.
The phrase the source uses here really stuck with me. It says, the goal is a dignified life.
That's the core philosophy. A dignified life means security. It means you know that no matter what happens to the global economy, if shipping containers get stuck in a canal or inflation spikes.
Your community has food.
It has food, it has hygiene products, it has basic clothing. You have severed the dependency on that global chain for your survival needs.
Yeah.
You aren't helpless.
It's resilience. It really is.
It's physical secession.
And looking back at the roadmap, it's wild because it didn't require some grand revolution. It didn't need everyone to quit their jobs. It just required organizing where the grocery money went.
That is the pivot. It's subtle. You don't fight the existing system. You just divert your energy, your money, your data away from it slowly until you've built a parallel reality.
It's a powerful idea. It changes you from being a consumer to being a
builder, a participant, an owner. Once a community realizes, we built this factory, we own these machines, the whole psychological dynamic shifts. You stop feeling like a victim of crisis.
You start looking at production capacity.
Exactly.
Okay, let's recap the whole arc because it's a lot to take in. It starts with your phone.
Sure. Phase 1, the software navigator. Use data to stop wasting time and gas. Efficiency first.
Phase 2, the funding mechanism. Pool your buying power, split the savings, and use the corporate margin to build your own mortar.
Phase 3, food production. The facility is built. You start processing raw ingredients into fresh food, automating the prep work.
And Phase 4, manufacturing essentials. You start making your own high-margin goods like toothpaste and textiles, achieving real independence.
Optimization, capitalization, production, manufacturing. It's a logical progression.
It really is. It makes you look at your neighborhood so differently. Right now, most suburbs are just rows of houses where people sleep.
And store things they bought somewhere else.
This model turns the neighborhood into a productive engine. It restores its economic function.
And it's not about going back in time. It's not churning your own butter by hand. It's about owning the high-tech machine that churns the butter for everyone.
High-tech localization. I like that. Which brings us to the question the documents leave us with. If you can do this for bread and toothpaste, what comes next?
Right. The facility is just the foundation. It's the proof of concept.
So if your community has a positive cash flow and you have this infrastructure, could you build your own energy grid?
Why not? Solar arrays, battery storage.
Yeah.
If the funding mechanism works for flour, it works for solar panels.
Could you do basic healthcare diagnostics?
Telemedicine booths, simple triage. Once you control the basics and have the capital flow, the ceiling just disappears.
Could you make housing materials? Bricks? Insulation?
You're limited only by the raw materials you can get and the machines you can house.
And that's the thought I want to leave everyone with. We get so used to thinking that progress means things getting bigger, more global, more corporate. But maybe the next real leap is actually shrinking things down, making them local, tangible, and yours.
It's not about going backward. It's about building a better future, right where you live. It's about agency.
Agency paid for by the money you were going to spend on groceries anyway. That is a wild thought to chew on. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always a pleasure.
Stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.